Let me try to take a stab at this. April 2nd, 2017, I showed up on YouTube. By the end of 2017, I had a bunch of friends, at least a dozen or so, newly found friends. I didn't even think for a second that any of them weren't actually my newfound friends. Then what happened was Derek from A Glop of Truth and Matthew Daly started the turn. Matthew did his complete turn March 2nd, 2018. So 11 months and actually 1 day since I started YouTubing, or at the same time Derek from A Glop of Truth. Now Derek, he winded up going off, I believe, to bigger and better things with his channel for turning against me. And the culprit, the leader of the bunch, to me was Steven James the Sean. So a year after I showed up was the year 2018, and about a year and a month or some change, about 13 months 13 months later, 13 months and 11 days was the 70th year anniversary of the nation of Israel becoming a nation again. So from that time, Steve had at least 12 months, like King Nebuchadnezzar did, to get the warning. And then starting 2018, it looks like King Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom had been numbered, but so has his son, Belshazzar, I think it is. Belteshazzar, wasn't that Daniel's name? Like belt, wearing the belt, the champion belt. Let me see if these headlights, if they blink the way that they do in my eyes. No, only in my eyes. So they're those gang stalking flashing ones that they irritate your eyes just by being there. So yeah, I'm in the land of confusion. Of course, everything's going to be confusing, but that's only because everybody's a liar. That's the thing, Steve. You want to see confusion manifesting with me, it's because everybody's a liar, and all I'm trying to do is figure out what the truth is. And remember, King Nebuchadnezzar, his name means protect my firstborn son. That's what it means. So 7 years King Nebuchadnezzar had to eat grass like the oxen of the field. He lived like a wild animal. He ate grass didn't smoke much of it, but ate it, more of it, just in like I don't know, like soups and stuff. So 7 years, 2018, 2025. King Nebuchadnezzar, I've seen it more times than none, that he represents Lucifer, because, you know, he came down from his island, he lived up in the heavens, and until he realized that, look, you can't do it better than God. You may rise above the stars of El, because if you look at it like this is how I look at it. Steven James. When I first came into the YouTube world, with your name being attached to the top Luciferian, head United States, gang stalker, vicar of Lucifer in America, that's a big title to have, even for a person, even if it's a lie. It's still a pretty hefty title to have, even as a lie, because nobody else had that title but you, and there's 8 billion people supposedly on Earth, or whatever, wherever we're at. So Lucifer was the accuser of his brethren. I mean, I got accused not just of everything, all types of lies, and from Steven James himself, and you acted. King Nebuchadnezzar even lost his sanity because of the judgment that fell upon him. That Father told him his time is up, and it's, you know, it's like at one point it was time to stand for SJD. Then there was a time to stand on SJD. Then there was a time it's time to understand SJD. So it may have been misunderstood. So, with Father being the one who numbered King Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom, and when you're looking on the television set, I go back to James, what was it, Jesse James, or I forget, the one that always showed the rap music, and now all of a sudden P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, is being indicted, and then that means everybody else associated with them. And so now it's like Will Smith they're looking for him and he's not around, he left the country, and so it's like this major judgment is coming on these rap stars. But here's the thing. Here's the thing with that. It's not like Puff Daddy isn't other characters on TV, even white characters, even white female characters somewhere. I don't know which ones, but it's still all a show. Even though they're getting judged, and it's like, yeah, God's judgment is coming down on a... Right, but you're all still actors, and you're just going to hop into a different suit, and if you fade out or you go to jail for the rest of your life or whatever, you're not really in jail. You're just going to be another character, focusing on your time and energy on that one. So, when I see this one beast, one of his heads that had been wounded to death and did live. It's like being wounded like a head serpent, and then the heel of Christ, which is the one that stepped on the serpent's head, heals the same wound to the head, and he does live because there's breath breathed into him, so he does live. And people have it's not really clear if King Nebuchadnezzar really worshiped God or not, like in the end, or he just put him as the highest God, but still worshipped other gods. But at the same time, in the end of days, he exalted Daniel and Daniel's God, and recognized that the Most High God rules. So there you go. That's what happened within the 7-year period of time. So from 2018 to 2025 is going to be 7 years from the 70th year anniversary of the nation Israel becoming a nation again. So how many times do you forgive your brethren? 70 times 7. And that's 2025. What is it going to look like? Is Trump going to be in office? Trump, is he representing Cyrus? And who is Kamala Harris? Is that the Joker? Because just because the Joker has some good sayings, it's good, a lot of truth to what he's talking about. But isn't the Joker? Isn't he still the Wizard of Oz, the one behind the curtain? I don't know. I mean, I look at the algorithm that YouTube shows me, and when you see the Joker underneath of Jonathan Kleck's thumbnail with the Wizard of Oz, and it's his exact identical colors and color scheme and everything in the fire, and then it also shows the Joker, and then same uniform, same colored jacket, purple, with Kamala Harris right identical next to it. Who's going to be in office in 2025? Well, I believe Kamala Harris will definitely become the first female woman president. For how long? This just may be the year. It's a 21-day holdup somewhere along the lines. Either before the election, after the election, 21 days of a holdup, or before or after the inauguration. Because you fool me once, you can't fool me again. It's either that or Trump gets raptured up out of here and Kamala Harris stays in, or somehow Barack Obama gets in place. I don't know. It's still confusing because I'm in that land of confusion. Who's the author of confusion? Same author of Gematria. So it looks like King Nebuchadnezzar, Steven JamesKanezzar, will get his kingdom back after 7 years. So everybody else in between, what was it, 3 other kingdoms, Steve? What did I say they were? Before, what did I say? It was, one of them was Derek Bros, another one, Jonathan Kleck, and the other one, Jacob Israel. I'm pretty sure that's pretty perfectly lined up with those 3. But you got Steve Ben-Nun over there. I don't know if he said he was married to Ezra or Esther, or he keeps saying the same one and the same. Anyway, Artaxerxes it's about that time, right? You got Artaxerxes with Steve Ben-Nun, you got King Nebuchadnezzar with Stephen James, and then you got these other 3 kingdoms. Derek Bros came up with one of them, and then I guess Jacob Israel with the other, and then Jonathan Kleck is that final one before Steve comes back. And that's how I wanted it too. It's funny. Like I want Steve to be in charge. I just want him to stop lying. I want him to recognize the Most High God rules. And it takes it's a 7-year period, because all the other kingdoms have to have their. Everybody gets a chance anyway. And mainly also because I talked directly to Steve, face-to-face, FaceTime, phone conversations, text messages, all that stuff in 2018. All in the year 2018. And then I stopped. I cut him off because I was feeling like I was threatened to feel like I have to do things. I'm not having it from nobody. And that's why I don't, at this time, open myself up really to conversations, phone conversations. I'd rather just talk about things and show it on YouTube, and if anybody has whatever, they make videos and communicate it that way. Because then it's out in the open instead of private conversations. I'd rather things be out in the open, meaning like on the YouTube platform, so that the temple can be cleansed that way. It's hard for the temple to be cleansed if you're having private conversations not on the YouTube platform or other places. I'll never go anywhere else besides YouTube. My channel never got shut down. I would be done with that work because it was YouTube. That's the place. Like Matthew Daly tried to get me to stop making videos, stop watching YouTube. It's not even an important place. It's the place. Who you kidding? And then he winds up getting the script of trying to pick up a 15-year-old boy on the Chris Hansen show. That's like Steve writing a script for him with his punishment. And then again, the same thing with P. Diddy and all these rap stars. Steve is coming against them all. He's bringing them all down. But at the same time, it's still all a script, and everybody's an actor, and they're all kind of different. White man, black man, female, white, black suits, doesn't matter. Cyrus, I don't know, with the final kingdom coming in with Cyrus, Darius is, and then, it gets confusing after all that, because you have Trump coming back, and you got J.D. Vance. It's like, it reminds me of SJD Advance to J.D. But how can you be the same? How can you be a SJD Vance and King Neb at the same time? Because here's the thing, the reason why Steve reminds me of King Nebuchadnezzar is because he came up first. And that's who, with all these kings, he was the first one. And he was arrogant, and he was prideful, and he was a tyrant, like real evil, cruel. And that's like how Lucifer came down accusing me day and night. And then you got Jonathan Kleck over there as the channel with 2 horns like a lamb, speaks like a dragon, causing all those to worship Steve, the beast with the wounded head, the serpent rising up from the sea. I mean, that's what I saw. I was standing there like, what the hell? Because the second beast that comes up from the earth like from the bottomless pit, because Steve came from the sea of humanity and from above the land up there. And the second beast, who has two horns like a lamb, so it's two heads. Those twins on the Jonathan Clegg channel, two horns like a lamb, speaks like a dragon, and routes all those miracles and stuff. And even the false prophet can do the same thing. Make fire come down from heaven. A 4, 3, 2, 1 before the fire from heaven comes down. So that just with the fire itself, in Clegg's ways, and acting like a lamb and speaking like a dragon, you know. But the Antichrist himself is the first beast, and the second one is the one that caused all those to worship the first one. Kind of using the same authority as Steve does in his presence also, as he's watching it happen. Like as if there's one most interesting man on the planet, and then the two female, well, really like had a penis, the female energy twins rising up at the same time, is really the two brothers underground coming up, taking those sheeple down. I mean, I'll tell you, I can imagine how worn out the saints are, because I'm pretty damn worn out myself. But Steve had said that I wear out the saints, the camp of the saints, where he's at, because I wore everybody out. Whatever. I mean, if it's like the Christ on the YouTube platform, if that's the case, then apparently I'm the Antichrist, that little horn. And none have come to my help. So, because my help would be financial. Financial help is getting paid for the work, no handouts. Just give me my earned pay for the 7.5 years on YouTube each day, equivalent to whatever the top YouTube agent makes. That's my compensation. So if you got paid $666 a day, then my initial payout is about about a 1,800,000 something for the 7.5 years. And then with the music videos that I produced in my sleep, and all these famous rock bands used the imagery and sold gazillions and quadrillions of records and MTV music videos and CDs and VHS and you name it. I mean, the amount of money that was made, and to use my imagery as the base foundation of the videos, doesn't go unnoticed. And considering there is a God, and if there wasn't, well, then I would never get compensated for it, and I would just die, old age of just working for a living. And that would just be a terrible way of living life on earth. That would be true suffering for me, to know what has been copied, because Satan is just a copycat. And then to live large with all these lying YouTube false prophet channels and just all these rock bands that living up large, and just the fact that they don't have to work for a living, even though they do, because Lucifer's their master. What I'm saying is, what is everybody looking for in life? Well, what do you work for? You work for your retirement, so you can retire early enough so you can still be healthy to enjoy life retired and not have to work for a living. That's what I'm working on. And so that's what I expect to happen. And sometimes, unlike what the Joker says, no one's ever coming, no one's saving, no one's ever going to do anything. Well, yeah, I know I got to do stuff myself, but however, I'm writing the script now. So in my script world, it's being rewritten. I don't care everybody says that how things are going to go. At a certain point in time, how things are going to go is because of how I already written it, and then it played out in my life until the last breath. And it's because I rewrote script, and the script was followed because of how it was rewritten. And there may be nothing new under the sun because it's already written. However, I still have to write it. I still have to go through this life. Even though people know what I'm going to do, my next step, till the day I die, doesn't mean I follow what they're saying, because just because they already know and they can act like, you know, I already know what I'm doing. There's nothing you can do about it, Rob. No, there is. There's everything I can do about it, because that's what I'm doing. I'm doing it about it right now. So there you have it, Steve. I told you your time was up back when I blocked you. 2018. 7 years is almost hitting the doorstep. So you're gonna rise back up, because all the other kingdoms had their chance and their time, and none of them can really stand the test of time besides you. So there you have it. I don't care who is doing what and where, when, and how. Steve was sent as a protector, and that's what he has been doing. It's a very unusual way of doing it, but that's the way it is. So all the people that worship you, Steve, they use my footage. Just make sure I get compensated for it. All right there, buddy. Life doesn't continue like this. No. You can't have so many copycats of copying off of one human being, and that one human being never gets compensated because of what everybody else had done in copying and following him. Everybody followed what I did and copied it and used it in their footage. Before I even recorded it, they already had it. But yet, I had already recorded it, and that's why they used it. So, that must mean something was before the foundations of the world.